Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me, no. All you board ghosts, come with me, we're going home.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is Fiasco. To learn how we generated the story playing the game of Fiasco, go listen to our Fiasco episode primer. I am one of your humble players this week, John Holt. With me is
Ken Breese, as always.
And joining us for the first time.
Hi, everybody. This is Pat Cartelli.
All right, Pat. And so this is also your first time playing Fiasco.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man, Pat, you're in for a treat. And thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
So we're going to be playing Fiasco, and the place that you've chosen is Home Invasion. Ken, do you want to give us
Oh,
the
man,
deets
Home
on
Invasion. So that could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But maybe after this description, you'll catch what we're throwing down. We love Poppleton Terrace. It's a nice middle-class neighborhood with a nice mix of professional families and a nice, powerful homeowners association. Good people who get involved and know their neighbors. People who aren't afraid to tell you that shade of blue you're painting your house is not exactly allowed by the association covenant. But lately, things have been unsettled around Poppleton Terrace. Oh, yes. Property values are falling. Crime is rising. Longtime residents have been less than receptive to the suggestions of the Standards Committee, and now new people are moving in. People who are not like us at all. So movie night here. Night of the, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's what it is. Not Night of the Living Dead, John. I wish it was.
Night of the Living Dead was a comet, right?
Yeah. The Burbs is one as well. The Burbs. Neighbors. Weeds from TV. The Invasion from TV. Donnie Darko. American Beauty, The Twilight Zone, bunch of TV episodes. This was written by Jason Morningstar, too, the person who created Fiasco. So
you generated our grid, and Ken, why don't you tell us who your character is?
I'm playing Gladys Marlow. Gladys Marlow is a 78-year-old woman, was born before the Great Depression and before World War I. Seen a lot of stuff. Somewhere in there was replaced, and she's not as she maybe once was. Has just this knack for fixing old stuff. She used to work on an assembly line for phonographs and then record players and then tape cassettes, cassette players and 8-tracks and stuff like that before she totally retired. So she just has this knack for being able to fix machinery. That's how she knows John's character. They have a similar interest in John's character's home theater, which is a beautiful state-of-the-art. All the other neighbors are very envious of it. It's the envy of the neighborhood. Gladys is taken care of by one of her family members. She is older. She walks around with a walker. She wears sort of like nightgowns sometimes. She doesn't take the best care of herself. Weird sort of curlers in her hair and stuff like
does
that.
Invalid mean like homebound, or is it more like someone who's got an infirmity?
I'm taking it to mean that invalid is someone who cannot do everything for themselves.
Okay. And
needs aid. She has a caregiver in her life. I guess we'll learn about right now.
I am playing Ronald Ron Matthews. I'd say Ron's about 54, lives with Gladys to help her with everyday tasks. Ron is the kind of guy that sits around, watches ESPN in the morning, gets up, goes out to the porch, and will hang out there with his beer, his coffee, his cigarette, and keep track of the neighborhood, keep track of the cars coming in, the cars coming out. New delivery guy comes through, take that license plate number down. Make sure you know who's coming in or out of this sleepy little town. I think Ron is envious of Quincy's home theater. He plays that out as anger when he, will hear a movie running a little too late in the night. So it does come off as anger, but there is a little bit of latent jealousy that he's unable to work a job that would allow him to buy that for himself.
But you had enough time to work with me to co-author the revised garbage policy.
Maybe
So
you
we're
guys
both
were forced to work
We're
together.
both part of the homeowners association.
Yeah.
So we worked together on that.
Yeah.
You both really care about garbage.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't let the other do it without the other one. Maybe.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's more of an antagonistic relationship.
So
Maybe not.
so my character Quincy Marmot is a 65-year-old retiree. He worked as a long time as a paralegal. He fought in Korea and just kind of coasted after that. He's hoarded a little bit of money, gotten by on his VA pay and all that stuff. So he does all right by himself. And he pays a whole lot of attention to what goes on in the neighborhood and has strong opinions about most people in the neighborhood.
Great. So yeah, between John and I, Quincy Marmot, and our good friend Gladys Marlow, we have a relationship of the plan, minion and accidental observer. We also have a location that informs our relationship behind closed doors, a tricked out basement home theater that we keep referencing. Between Gladys Marlow and Pat's character, Ronald Ron Matthews, is a familiar relationship, a caregiver and an invalid. We also have a need that informs our relationship to get out of an irritating commitment to a neighbor. And then between Pat and John, Ronald Ron Matthews and Quincy Marmot is the Homeowners Association. They're co-authors of the revised garbage policy. Floating around, we also have an object, a neighborhood watch object, a sweaty baseball cap with something tucked in the brim that will have something to do with our story at some point.
That's our whole setup. Let's roll right into our first scene.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'm gonna say we're at the tricked out basement home theater immediately. Quincy's there and Gladys is there. Gladys is like on her hands and knees, like sort of sticking her head underneath like this wooden cabinet that you've set a lot of your entertainment system on. It's sort of like an armoire. It takes up the entire wall and has everything sort of set into it very perfectly. The problem, as she's saying, it's down here. I just gotta reach my hand to a flashlight.
I really don't think this is appropriate, that you should be in here helping me. How?
Well, who else is gonna help me? Help you? My boy Ron? Think again. I'm assuming Gladys is Ron's mother?
Sure. Let's go with that.
This is really... Look, I just need you to get in there and replace the bulb for the rear projection.
All right, you're having a big party soon, huh? And you need to do some projecting?
That's really none of your business. Please just... Look,
Well, just remember old Gladys here. Maybe an invitation could be forthcoming there. Quincy?
there's one seat in this theater, and that's the way that I like to keep it. Listen... your small hands are the best at changing that bulb. Did you get in there and get that sorted out?
You just remember, if you do have any sort of shindig, the rules of the community of Poppleton Terrace do state that you have to make it known.
All right, well, again, it requires more than one participant to be any sort of gathering.
I don't know. Folks say they hear a lot of hooting and a hollering coming from this place.
Well, they are very confused, those people, and they should mind their own business. Or else. And Pat, could you let us know how the scene goes for Gladys? Does it go well or poorly for her? How's this going to end
that
for her?
went well for Gladys.
Going well for Gladys. Yep, there. I got that. There's the installed. All right. Do you have maybe some coffee or some tea?
Upstairs.
You
Let's
sure
go.
you don't want to put on maybe The Sound of Music? We could watch it.
I really
Test everything. Make sure it's fine.
Gladys, I told you multiple times, I don't have that movie. I don't have a VHS player down here. On the small TV upstairs, I can put on Sound of Music, and I'll make you some tea.
All right, Mr. Marmot. Just calm down. I won't sully your television with my Sound of Music.
Nope, you can. We'll put it on the small television upstairs in the kitchen.
All
and
right.
have
Well,
our
I do
coffee.
need a rest. Whew. I think that'll be the end of the scene as they go upstairs.
Okay, so I feel like this scene takes place on the front porch.
Oh.
With Ron sat in his rocking chair. It's a white rocking chair with the paint sort of, it's like chipping off. And you can see that he tried to repaint it at one point and potentially just ran out of paint. And I was like, oh, whatever. And I think that...
It's half painted?
Yeah.
Right.
And definitely like on the armrest, the wood is just worn away. So no point in painting that. It's just going to go away again. And Gladys, I think you're probably there too, potentially in the house, but you're meandering around. And Ron's out front with a low-budget beer.
Okay. Have you seen any undesirables, son?
Gladys, I keep telling you.
I heard the Adams got burgled last night.
Are you talking about your underwear or about people on the street again?
What?
Gladys, you know that I don't call them undesirables.
I sure wish you'd call me Mom. Here's your soup and your sandwich. I made them. Here they are. Well, you're just always on this rocking chair looking. I thought you were looking for undesirables.
Well, I keep telling you, don't say it that loud because if they hear you, they'll know I'm talking about them.
Oh, okay. But this is our property. You don't think anybody can hear us here? You think they have us bugged?
You never know. You never know. Look at those wires up there. Look at that transformer up there. You don't know what's in there.
I can't see that far.
Where'd you put your glasses?
I'm not sure. Help me look for them.
No, did you go over to Quincy's again?
Yeah. Yesterday, I helped him. He. I can't believe I told him I'd help him anytime he needed on that thing. It is a little annoying, but it's a good Samaritan, and it's important to keep up the bonds of neighborly fellowship. As they've been in the Poppleton Terrace for decade upon decade.
While that may be true, you shouldn't be going around helping out other people when you can't even help out yourself. You should go sit inside on the couch. I'll be out here looking for that gray van that keeps driving by.
Gray van? You think it has something to do with the Adamses?
Who knows who it has to do with? Potentially.
Gladys is sort of like ka-chunking around sort of on her walker. I mean, the soup is all sort of spilled all over the sandwich as she sort of trembles and puts the tray down in front of you. She says, well, I better go get the mail, and starts ka-chunk, like sort of moving towards wooden steps to sort of go down the stairs. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Tell us, John, how's this scene go?
It's a good time for things to go poorly for old Ron.
So, Ron, how do things go poorly for you? How does the scene
go in a bad way?
With things going in a bad way?
How do you not get what you want?
Yeah, how do you not get what you want, or how does the situation go poorly for you?
I think that the soup, the splash soup, I think when Gladys goes to bring him the tray, it splashes him, it's scalding hot, and burns one of his hands pretty bad, and he drops his beer. Drops his beer, and he goes back inside to go mend that.
And is that when the gray van goes by?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. You
it rolls by nice and slow.
Just miss the gray van as you go inside.
It's sort of like crossfade to another. You don't know if it's like the same. It's the same time of year.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. Like it's, things kind of just move in their own pace in Poppleton Terrace. So I'm actually on the curb of the Hendricksons.
Yep.
And Mrs. Hendrickson and me are wrestling over a microwave that she's trying to throw out.
Yeah.
Ron, that's when you pull up in your pickup.
Yeah, you totally have a pickup. It's a light duty, but...
Yeah. Do you want to play Mrs. Hendrickson? All right.
I wasn't done with it yet.
You clearly placed it on the sidewalk as positioned in Section B, Code 4. This is now Poppleton Waste, and for me as the material waste inspector, I have first dibs to make sure that it's a working unit to see if we can resell.
There's a family heirloom inside. No, let go.
And this is when Ron rolls up and, hey, what's going on here?
She is violating our homeowner's code in terms of waste disposal for electronics.
And this guy's being a douchebag.
And Ron gets out of the truck and sort of hikes up his pants and slams the door. You show me where that microwave was. Show me exactly where it was.
All right. there's her mailbox, right?
Uh-huh.
She has her trash within a variable of 6 feet from her mailbox, as is required inside its plastic container. The microwave was...
I put it down right here. Half of it was on my grass, half of it was on the cement.
It was 7
I went
feet
back inside.
from that trash bin, which means it's within the requisite 9
This
feet
is bullshit. You are a
to
scavenger.
be considered garbage for waste removal.
Ron
What have you been
whips
doing
out
in that house alone by yourself? Making weird tinfoil hats, I bet.
Madam,
What he does in his house has no bearing over you. And Ron whips out a tape measure and double checks the distance and says, you know what? This time, Quincy is right.
No, the garbage policy has not been revised yet. This can't be true.
how is this going to go? I think that'll be a big call.
I think this goes well for Quincy.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Madam, you're already on your 4th demerit for this season.
Damn it, take it.
You have children. Consider your actions next time. And I
You know I can't lose my
cradle
home.
the microwave as I sort of shuffle
Fuck you,
off
Marmot. Fuck you.
with a sideways look.
Storms off.
And I just kind of stroke the microwave as I walk down the street.
Well, what does Ron do? How does Ron react?
Ron is both happy that the trash was disposed of by the books.
Yeah.
Kind of puffs
Does
his
he
chest.
does he tug a forelock to like Mr. Marmot, Quincy Marmot, or is it more like I've done my job or
Superman in it?
Yeah, how's he
It's a little bit of a smug, like, you're welcome.
Oh, like you couldn't have done this without me type deal. We fade to black. As the image resolves, you see a very well manicured and taken care of kitchen, an older kitchen, a kitchen that would probably be kept by an older woman. It is in fact Gladys's kitchen in her home that she and Ron live together. Ron is waiting in this kitchen in the dark as he sees Gladys not ka-chunking, but on very light feet coming in through the back door as quietly as possible. Underneath her arm is like a bundle. Probably it looks like a garbage bag, like a black garbage bag with red sort of strings on it. It's sort of misshapen. It's obvious as she puts it down on the table, having no idea that her son is in the room. It sounds like a metal on metal or plastic or something like that, like pieces of a stereo or something like that.
And after 2 beats, Ron tugs the chain of the
Ronnie, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
This is nothing. Nothing.
This is nothing.
No, this is some leftover junk I found. The garbage policy. I found it on the street.
Well, and it's 3 a.m. What were you doing
Well,
out
that's
there?
the best time to find this kind of stuff. Didn't you know that?
I did. I wrote the book on this. Where's your walker?
I think I'm sleepwalking. I don't know. I must have left it in my room.
And
I don't know. Where am I?
Oh, where are you? And Ron walks over and just tears the bag open.
Inside the bag are like circuit boards upon circuit boards. Just all these circuit boards. Also, it looks like there are dead batteries, like alkaline batteries that people threw out or something like that. It obviously looks like a bunch of garbage. Circuit boards and batteries.
And he reaches in and grabs just as big of a handful as he can to see if he can discern what these may have come from. And where did you find all of this?
I told you it was garbage on the street.
As he looks down, he sees one of the circuit boards and it has an address on it.
Yeah.
And it's an address of one of the only office buildings that's in the proximity of this town. And he runs over immediately to the kitchen window and closes the shades. Where did you find this?
I think over by the Henderson's place. I think.
And he just stares and breathes deeply. And he's like, how far did you walk tonight? How long have you been out?
I don't know. I told you. I was sleepwalking. But that was my dream. I remember finding this in the dream.
Okay, and he looks out the window again. And this time the gray van comes again.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And is rolling down the street and with the lights off.
With the lights off. All right. What are you doing up so late anyways?
I could tell that you weren't here. Your nightlight wasn't on.
I'm telling you, this has never happened before. How does this go?
It goes
well. It goes well for Gladys. It's at that point that the gray van, it's like lights come on and like peels out. It's like, and like just peels out, like just like takes off, catches Ron's full attention as Gladys just grabs the junk and like runs upstairs, basically, I think, and like shuts herself in her room, locking the door.
Ron and Quincy are walking down one of the streets. It's a rare moment of being able to work together pretty evenly. I feel like the microwave incident sort of evened things out for a little bit. And they're discussing the garbage policy. So as they turn this corner, Ron, sort of brandishing the nicest binder he could buy at Staples, turns to Quincy and goes, this garbage plan's going real well. We've been able to map out the neighborhood. We've been able to clean up garbage by 20%. And we're saving the town money. I think it's been a real good thing working with you.
You've been all right. You've been helpful. Listen, can I trust you?
Sure.
How well do you know your mother?
Ron, kind of perplexed, goes, I'm not so sure anymore. Then he says that. He goes, I'm not so sure anymore. She's been going out in the middle of the night, leaving her walker at home. She's coming back with trash. She's bringing trash into my home.
What kind of trash?
Just circuit boards. At first I thought that she had been taking things from your theater, trying to dismantle it piece by piece.
I'm aware that I was aware, and I've been very careful about giving her access to the theater.
But you're not missing any pieces?
None that I haven't accounted for. I know what she's taken and when she's taken it.
Well, what is she taking from you?
It seems like random junk. I just can't put it together yet.
Well, I can't put it together either. I've been trying.
Maybe you're too close to it. I don't know if I should have talked to you. I don't know if I can trust you.
What gives you that sense? Why wouldn't you be able to trust me? We worked together on this garbage plan for 6 years now.
And I know you don't seem like her. I don't know. I can't be sure.
Is it that she comes over to actually help and not just talk to you?
I don't know. I don't know if she's just why she comes over. But again, it's more, you're close to her. Yes, we've worked together for 6 years, but you live with her. You take care of her.
She has become more of a recluse. She doesn't come down as much. She doesn't bring me soup and sandwiches on the porch anymore.
But you take care of her?
Of course. But, there's some traditions that die hard.
Interesting.
I think this goes poorly for Ron.
Okay.
In the end.
I do think you're too close. I don't know.
At that moment, they both spot a baseball cap on the side of the road. And both go to reach for it.
And so is the going bad that I get the jump on you?
Yeah.
Snatch it up?
So you grab the baseball cap.
Yeah.
Quincy.
Cut to that night. I'm holding the baseball cap, sitting in my chair in the basement of my home theater. Mm-hmm. I have a 64-ounce soda from 7-Eleven in the cup holder. Jiffy Pop on the little side tray.
This is the 1980s.
Fully popped. I hit a button on the remote, and the rear projection screen rises, and there's a bank of monitors, all with exposed wires, and I adjust the brim of the hat, and one of the monitors shows me from the hat's perspective. And I rewind that. I hit a button and rewind that tape, and it goes back to showing me and Ron approaching the hat earlier that day. And I go to another piece of the tape and rewind it, and we zoom in on a monitor where it is Gladys and Mrs. Hendrickson chatting in the Mrs. Hendrickson's kitchen as Gladys repairs her microwave. Mm-hmm. And you can see me peeking in the window for a moment and duck back down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see like the reflection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gladys comes out of Mrs. Hendrickson and notices me in the bushes.
Wait, but you were playing a videotape from your control room and
yeah.
And
the hat.
But
And
now we're like in the scene.
Now we're in that scene where
Yeah.
this has happened that you're watching. But
So I'm like
okay,
watching
got
it now. I'm watching
Watching
playback.
something that happened from before. Okay, cool. Gladys catches a sight of you. Oddly, she's not wearing her glasses. Her very thick Coke bottle glasses are hanging right on her ample bosom as she sort of turns to her left and sees Quincy in the bushes. And she says, "Pervert! Ah, this is against the rules. I'm reporting you.
You. What are you doing in Mrs. Hendrickson's house?
What are you doing outside her window?"
I am on neighborhood watch, and I am on my current watch shift, and I am allowed to be looking through the neighborhood for anything suspicious.
This is too much. You are on thin ice. I'm going to report you to the board.
I
There will be a
whip
hearing.
around my backpack and open up, and I have like 4 binders. And I pull out the one and flip through and show that the perimeter for watching is within like 6 inches of any given home space on any lawn. And I take out a stick that I have. I never come as closer than this to anyone's home or window.
These rules, all these things, you've destroyed this neighborhood with all your grubbing and your watchfulness. I know about you, Quincy Marmot. I know what you do at night.
Do you, though? Maybe I'm saving this neighborhood.
Saving it for who?
Saving it from who?
Saving it for recluses and weirdos like you who won't even open their home to their neighbors? I tell you this, I will let everybody know what you're up to, and they'll like you even less, unless you let my boy come watch a movie with you.
I don't. Maybe it's high time the neighborhood found out what you are.
Oh, go ahead and tell them. I've been here for years. I'm everyone's friend. They know me.
Do they know what you are?
Oh, they know what you are in your heart, you grubbing little worm.
How's it gonna go?
How's it go?
I feel like that goes well for Quincy.
Cool. It goes
Yeah,
well in the
it's
end
rosy.
for Quincy.
You have darker secrets than I'll ever have.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm late for dinner.
You.
Ka-chunk. Ka-chunk. Ka-chunk.
Why don't you just run along?
Don't make fun of an old woman. You know my hips gave out a decade ago.
That's not what my tapes say.
And with that, Hershey gets deathly serious. She says, "I'll defeat you, Quincy Marmot. I'll defeat you yet." Sort of ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
So now we've completed 2 rounds of scenes. So now we're going to actually go to what's called the tilt. So what you do is you roll your dice together. So we've generated our tilt. We have paranoia, somebody is watching, waiting for their moment, and failure, a tiny mistake leads to ruin. We interrupt our story here, and we'll resume in our next communique. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho. Ken, where can people find you?
Hey everybody, it's me, Ken Breese. You can find me on Twitter and on, not Snapchat anymore, John.
Snapchat's dead.
Snapchat's dead! On Instagram and, of course, online at burlingsbeard.com. BERLINGS or at burlingsbeard. Hey, Pat, where people can find you?
Hey, everybody, this is Pat Cartelli. You can find me on Twitter at Pat Cartelli. That's CARTLLI. And you can also find my podcast on iTunes. It's called Repeater, a little show about big songs.
I even heard that you do a live repeater show every Thursday in Queens.
Close. We do a monthly show
Almost.
at QED Astoria. So,
Very cool.
hey, Internet people, you should come out to that too.
Awesome. Cool. So for more info about the players and engine in our game, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal, and please take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying